Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing a little bit of extra work on the Katana. I've bought a new part, it's come in. In the last video I installed the clear clutch cover on the bike. If you haven't seen that video, by all means check it out. It's on the Katana playlist on RevMatch 1970. I haven't ridden the bike since I've installed it because the weather's just been absolutely rubbish. So I thought, oh well, I might as well be in the shed and put some parts on the bike that I've been meaning to. I've finally pulled the trigger on this little kit, Healtech Quickshifters for the bike. It's bike specific, so you have to select from their website the correct plug modules, I should say. And yeah, we're going to install a Quickshifter onto my 2019 GSXS1000S Katana. Now, the biggest thing that I've taken off this bike, I think, is the seat and the mirrors, because these are different mirrors from a different bike that I had. So I've never taken the bodywork off this bike, so which has got me, you know, I think it's a little bit daunting, to be honest with you, with all the little buttons and clips and things like that. But if I'm methodical, slow and steady, I think I'll be able to get the bodywork off. So I'll have to get to the coil packs on top of the spark plugs inside here, so I dare say the tank's going to have to come up. I dare say the fairing's going to have to come off, because that's all integrated into the tank area here. And I reckon I'm probably going to take off more stuff than what I really need to, but as I said, I haven't taken any of this bodywork off this bike, so it's going to be an interesting exercise, that's for sure. So I'm going to get cracking with that. I'll pop the seat off and have a bit of a look underneath there and see what I need to do, and we'll get cracking installing this this Healtech Quickshifter. So this Healtech Quickshifter system is Quickshifter up the gears only. It doesn't have auto blip and all that sort of stuff for this particular model, because the 2019, 2020 and 21 models have cable operated cable operated throttle, sorry. The 2022 model Katanas will come out with fly-by-wire throttle, and they come factory with a quick shifter up and down with auto blip and all that sort of stuff as well. So just a bit of background info there for you. I'll get cracking now anyways. Okay, so a bit of an update. Working on this bike, there are that many buttons and screws and things. You can see all the bags here that I've got marked. The tank, ignition shroud, side panels, fairing, screen screws, side and tail section. Basically, you have to work from the back here and work your way forward Now I haven't taken the front fairing completely off, it's just sitting there at the moment on some rubber grommets, so thankfully I didn't have to take that off to get the tank off. But man, there's little hidden screws up inside here and everything. Bit of a circus. If you do endeavour to go on down this path, I say take your time, really take your time. Like this has been pretty scary. A little sphincter tightening, as they say, in a few moments, but overall it's okay. So the fuel line is a quick disconnect, which is good, and that's the return line from the fuel pump, I think. No, sorry, that's the overflow pipe if you overfill the tank, and that's the return line to the fuel tank from the fuel pump, from what I can see. So if I come around this side of the bike, I've got to get to the coil packs, which are, oh, there's one there. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll see if I can get a torch on there. That little black number just there is one of the coil packs, and I've got all four to get to, so the airbox has got to come off. Here's the, looks like the computer, the ECU for the bike, and so I've got to take that off as well. I'll disconnect those connectors anyways, take the airbox off the throttle bodies, which I'm going to investigate now, disconnect a couple of overflow and emissions pipes and see how we go. Alright. Well, that was a little bit of a mission, not too bad. Really good thing is that the screws that hold the airbox onto the throttle bodies here, they are angled in certain directions, so it's nice and easy to get with an Allen key. Happy days. I did have to take off this big bracket here, which sits over the top of the ignition barrel, because there's one little 10mm bolt here that holds, just there, that holds the front of the airbox down. So a little hot tip for you there. Just going to cover up these throttle bodies, and then we can get to work getting to these four coils. So all of that work just to get to these four things here. Crazy times. Alright, so I've pulled the packaging out for the coil packs. These four connectors are just piggybacks, and from what I can understand, as long as you've got the right piggyback to right piggyback, you can see how those two are connected. You can connect them to any of the coil packs. There's no specific order, because when the gear lever is moved, it's got to cut the ignition on all four cylinders for thousandths of a second, or what, a hundredth of a second, to unload the engine so the gear can go in. So I'm going to connect these ones now to these coil packs in here. Just one there, 2, 3 and 4. I think I'll route the cabling down through this side here. I have to be a little bit careful where I'm going to put the little module, because the tank goes down underneath here as well, so a little bit careful with that. Just see how I go. Alright, good time to be working on the motorbike. Alright, so I've piggybacked all the cables, as you can see here, into their respective coil packs. I've run the cabling through here. I've just zip tied it to this wiring harness here for now, and then I've run it down the side here, run it down the side here, through here, and I've connected, just hooked up with a zip tie, the module here onto this connector point here. There is absolutely no room to be able to use the adhesive strip on the back to stick it to the frame or anywhere, because the cables are only so long, and I didn't want to run them directly over the tappet cover and underneath the airbox and all that sort of stuff, just in case the airbox didn't fit on properly. So it's a real tight packaging fit. And then I ran the cables. This is the earth wire, which I'm going to earth to here, and then this cable here goes to the secondary module part that I'm about to install, which is the actual Quickshifter part that goes onto the gear selector. So I'm going to leave it like that for now, Make sure everything's covered, and I'll make a start with having a look how I'm going to connect the second part of the module to the gear selector. So I've managed to put the petrol tank back on, connected it all up underneath there, just a few, mainly the fuel pump wire, the fuel connection, which is really nice. It's only a quick release one, so happy days there, no petrol pissing out everywhere when you disconnect it or connect it. I did have to ground the an earth wire here for the Quickshifter, so I've done that just on that bracket there onto that frame. Took a little bit of paint off there so I get a good earth. Now it says in the instructions, so I've got to put the ignition in, start her up, and on this little module here should be a little green light lit up. Everything works well there. That means I've connected it up correctly, so let's give that a crack. So ignition in, switch her on, fuel pump priming, give her a hit. Hey, hey, hey. We've got a little green light showing just there underneath that white thing. Happy days. Something not quite there with the throttle though. Throttle cable, not 100% sure there. I'm going to have a quick look at that. Alright, after the initial test, all the electrical is fine and everything, but I just found that the throttle, see how it sticks? Not happy with that. Not happy at all. So that means there's something binding underneath there to the throttle plates. So you can see here that this is turning nicely. So there's nothing wrong with the cables. So there's something underneath the tank here that I've put a hose wrong or something like that. It's rubbing up against a slider in between the fuel injectors there, or the throttle bodies I should say. So for all intents and purposes, we've installed the Quickshifter from Healtech. Fairly straightforward. The fairings and that on these bikes are a bit fiddly, but I'm no mechanic either, so you just got to be patient with it and take your time with it and all that sort of stuff, and eventually you get there. So I'm going to, off camera now, take off the tank and that, and have another sticky beak down by the throttle bodies there, see what was going on, and I'll report back in the next video, which will be coming up shortly, where we are going to program the Healtech's Quickshifter via Bluetooth on my phone. So that'll be pretty exciting to see how all that works, because it all works via Bluetooth apparently, so that should be pretty cool. And then we are going to take it for a test ride. Yeah, I can't wait for that one. I'm super excited for that. So I'm going to check out what's going on underneath here. I'll report back in the next video what it was. I'll put all the bodywork and everything back together again, and the bike will be fully assembled on the next video, and we'll get through the programming and that. If you guys enjoyed the video, can you give it a thumbs up for me? Much appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, consider subscribing to the channel for plenty more content coming up on RevMatch 1970. You guys have a fantastic day. Enjoy yourselves, be safe, be kind, and we'll see you on the next video. Good on you.